my name is Murad Amir Suzudia. So today we are discussing inequalities for 402 for mathematics. Now, the first important thing you need to know about inequalities is I'm going like discussing some previous things. That is x equals to 3 over here. So what does it mean x equals to 3? X equals to 3 means the value of x is fixed. When the value of x is fixed, that means it cannot be changed. But in inequalities, the value is not fixed. The value comes in the form of a range. That means the value can be greater, equals to, or lesser or equals to. The value will be in that form, not in the equals to form. Okay, that's the main thing about inequalities. So here we have some four kind of inequalities which are given, and I have made a number line so that you must be able to understand it properly. So you have x is greater than 6. So x is greater than 6 means the values of x are greater than 6. So they can be 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Now if I want to make this information on a number line, if I want to represent this whole thing on a number line, so what I'll be doing, I'll be drawing a number line over here, and I'll make a hollow circle over here, and like because it's greater than 6, so I'll make my arrow over here to show the greater side of it. Okay, why hollow circle? Because 6 is not included. Okay, now for x is greater and equal to 6 means the value of 6 is also included in this form. So because 6 is also included, so I will draw a shaded circle to represent that 6 is included. And for the greater side, the arrow will be on the right hand side. Okay, this is the whole doing thing and represent thing on a number line. Now x is lesser than 2. Lesser than 2 means that the values of x are lesser than 2. So that means 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, and so on. So I'll draw a hollow circle over here, and on the left hand side there is an arrow over here. So after this you can see that it is a hollow circle. And why hollow circle? Because 2 is not included. Okay, now in the second one we have x is lesser and equal to 2. Lesser and equal to 2 means 2 is also included. So 2, 1, 0, minus 1, minus 2, and so on. And I'll draw a shaded circle over here, and the arrow will be on the lesser side. So this is the representation of a answer into a number line. Now we are doing one example of this, and now afterwards we'll be drawing a number line also. Okay, so we have minus c plus 3 greater than 5. So you remember you have already solved some simple equations of algebra. Okay, this is similarly like this. So we have minus c plus 3 greater than 5. So first of all, I will shift my 3 on that side. So it becomes 5 minus 3. Now I can get minus c greater than 2. Okay, now because I have to find the value of t, not minus c, so what I'll be doing is I'll multiply this minus sign by c over here and this minus sign over here. So because of multiplication of the negative sign, the sign of inequality will also change. It will also be an opposite sign. It converted into from greater to a lesser sign. So whenever you are multiplying your inequality by a negative sign, the sign of inequality will also change. So that's why you are seeing a drastic change in the signs. So it becomes positive c and it becomes negative 2. Now if I need to represent this information on a number line, so I'll draw a number line over here. This is minus 2 and it's on the lesser side, represented by your answer. Simple linear inequalities. Now we are going to discuss about simultaneous linear inequalities. The word simultaneous means there are two inequalities at the same time and they both are going to be together. Okay, so you have 3x lesser than x plus 6 at the same time, and you have 2x plus 4 lesser 3x plus 6. Okay, so what you are first supposed to solve it, which we have done it in the previous video, you have to simply solve it. So this is 3x, this is x over here. So 3x minus x lesser and equal to 6 over here, this becomes 2x, and the answer of it is x is lesser and equal to 3. So that's how we can get the answer easily by solving it. Now with the second inequality, what is happening over here is 2x over here, 3x over here. I'll shift 3x over here, I'll shift that 4 on that side. So that 3x becomes negative and this 4 becomes negative. So afterwards we have negative x lesser than 2. Again, what I need to do is multiply the negative sign by this inequality. So the sign of inequality also changes into a greater one. So it becomes x is greater than minus 2. So side by side, what I'm doing over here is I'm plotting these two on a number line over here. So I have drawn minus 2, and because the values were greater, so that's why it's greater, and because there was no sign of equals to, so that's why this circle is hollow, and because there was a equals to sign over here, so that's why this circle is a shaded circle. That's why. Now from this particular these two inequalities, I need to sort it out. I need to sort it like this, that these two inequalities are both satisfying at this particular area. So the numbers which are coming between them will be my solution, or will be the values for x. Okay, now the values of x will be this all including the 3. Why I'm not including minus 2? Because there was a hollow circle over here and there was no equals to sign. So that's why my values of x will be minus 1, 0, 1 and 2, and it also includes 3 because you have a shaded circle over here. So this is how we solve a simultaneous linear inequalities if it comes in our exam. Now there is one more example. I'm not solving it completely, but I'll let you know how you can solve it. If the examiner give you the question like this, 4x plus 14 lesser and equal to x plus 5 and lesser than 3x minus 1, then how you were supposed to solve it. So first of all, what you will be doing over here is you will be separating this inequality and writing it alone over here. 4x plus 14 lesser and equal to x plus 5 over here, and then x plus 5 3x minus 1 over here. So that's how you form two different inequalities from this one. Separate this part first, and then separate this part first. Okay, now the solution is totally similar to the previous solution, so that's why I'm not solving it completely. As we are going to start about graphical inequalities, but before starting graphical inequalities, I'm giving you some little bit description about how to draw a straight line. So this is the first straight line we need to draw, which is x equals to 4. Now it's written x equals to 4, so this is x axis. So what I need to do is I just look at the 4 over here, the 4 is over here, and I'll simply draw a straight line over here. This is called x equals to 4. That's how you can draw the line of x equals to 4. Let's suppose you have a line x equals to 7, so you just need to look 7 over here and you will draw a straight line over here. Simple. Now it is y equals to 3, so y equals to 3 means it will intersect at y axis. This is y axis over here, and we have 3 over here, so I'll mark on 3 and I'll draw a simple straight line over here. And if it is an y equals to 1, so I'll simply draw a line like this, it crossing y at 1. Okay, there's a simple equation. Now x equals to 2 is already simple. If y equals to 2 is given, it's already simple, so you can do it. But what about the proper equation is given the form of y equals to mx plus c with a gradient in the y-intercept? How you are able to draw it? So what you need to do is, the main question is you need to draw a straight line of this particular equation, which is y equals to 2x plus 1. So what you need to do is you will assume the points of x by yourself, which are 0, 1, 2, 3. You can assume any 3 points related to your graph. It's totally on you. So I have assumed over here 0, 1, 2, and these are the assumptions which I have made over here. So this can be the value of x. So over here there's a straight line, as you can see. So how you have drawn the straight line over here? So you just need to write the equation, which is y equals to 2 x plus 1, and instead of x you will put a 0 over here. So you have written a 0 over here, and the value of y is 1. So when you put the value of x 0, the value of y is already 1. And in the next time what you have done, you have put the value of x as 1 over here, so the value of y is 3. Okay, now you got the value for y in this side, this is 3. And now for x equals to 2, what you need to do is you will put the value of x as 2 over here, and the value of y is 5. Now in the last one, what you need to do, x equals to 3 it is, so I'll write x as 3 over here, and the value of y is 7. So I got my points, which are x equals to 0, at x equals to 0 y is 1, For x equals to 1, y is 3, and for x equals to 2, y is 5, and for x equals to 3, y is 7. So I have now got these coordinates. This is a first coordinate, second coordinate, third coordinate, and fourth coordinate. So what I need to do, I'll simply plot these coordinates on my graph. So the first coordinate is x0 and y1, 0 comma 1. I need to plot this coordinate on my graph. So 0 comma 1 is this coordinate, and now the second coordinate is 1 comma 3, which is this one, 1 comma 3, and the third coordinate is 2 comma 5, which is 2 comma 5 over here, and the the last coordinate, which we have the fourth one, it is 3 comma 7, which is over here. So I have just plotted these coordinates. So what I need to do, I will take my scale and I'll simply draw this straight line. So as you can see, there's a straight line over here. There's a straight line drawn of this equation. So whenever the examiner is asking you to draw a straight line, what you need to do, you follow these kind of simple steps. Okay, now as you can see, there we have a graphical inequalities over here. There are two kind of lines over here. This is a solid line and there's a dotted line. So whenever you have a solid line over here, this is called a solid line. You have the sign as greater and equal to and lesser and equal to. There is a equal to sign added to the inequalities. And whenever you are using a dotted line, so you only write greater than and lesser than, not equal to attached to it. Okay, now here we have one example like to solve this kind of inequalities. These are equations, these are not inequalities, these are called equations because we have a equals to sign over here. When this equals to sign changes into a sign of greater, lesser, or equal to whatever it is, it must be a sign of inequality, then you can call this thing as inequalities. Right now this thing, these three are equations. Okay, these are not inequalities. Now we are coming to the example over here. Write down three inequalities which defines the shaded region. So this is the shaded region. As you can see, this is the shaded region. Okay, this is whole shaded region, and we need to define this whole shaded region by three inequalities. So what we need to do is we need to convert these three equations into inequalities. So what you need to do is you need to highlight the first line. So this is your first line over here. Now you need to identify whether your shaded region is downward or upward from this line. So as you can see, our shaded region is downward. So I can, and this is a solid line. So I can change this sign and I can write it lesser and equal to. Because it is downward, so I'm using the sign lesser and equal to. Okay. So now this equals to sign changes into lesser and equal to. Okay. Now for the second line, you have y equals to minus 2x plus 8. Now again, this is a solid line over here and the shaded region is again downward of this line. So I'll change this sign and I'll make it lesser and equal to. Why lesser and equal to? Because the shaded region is downward, that's why. Okay, and y equals to, because it was a solid line. You always need to remember two kind of steps. Okay, now for the third line, you have y equals to 2 and this is your straight line. Now the shaded region is upward. So upward means you will change this sign into greater and equal to. Why greater? Because it was upward, and y equals to because this was a solid line. So these three equations, as you can see over here, changes into these three inequalities. So that's why you can easily define your region. Okay. So now we are moving towards the next example. In this example, there is one new thing over here which are related to the equations also. So you have the example is find three inequalities which describe the region inside the triangle. Okay, the region which is inside the triangle. So this is a triangle, these are the lines, and this is the region which is inside the triangle over here. So I need to find three inequalities. So what I have to do? First, I need to find the equations of these three lines. Okay, so what about this line? 1. Because this line is intersecting x at 6, so I can say that the equation of this line is x equals to 6. So I have written over here x equals to 6. This is the equation of this line. What you need to do is always you need to find the equation. If equation is given to you, then you will do the previous step which we have done in our previous example. So what I have done over here is, first I have to find the equation of this line, which I have already done over here, x equals to 6. Then I need to look whether my region is on right hand side or on left hand side. I need to describe the region which is on the left hand side. It's a decreasing side. So I can put the sign over here, x is lesser and equal to 6. Why lesser? Because it was on the decreasing side. And y equals to, because this line was a solid line. Now for the next one, what I need to do is, there is y equals to 3. This line is called y equals to minus 3. Why y equals to minus 3? Because this straight line is intersecting y at minus 3. So the equation of this line is y equals to minus 3. Now I need to look whether my region is upward or downward. My region is upward. So I'll add the sign y is greater and equal to minus 3. Why greater? Because upward, and y equals to because it was a solid line. Okay. Now I'm moving towards the third equation, and there is no equation over here. So I need to find the equation of this straight line. So what I need to do to find the equation, which we have already studied in coordinate geometry, what we have done is, we need to identify two coordinates. The first coordinate is 0 comma 2, which I have marked over here. This is 0 comma 2, and the second coordinate is 2 comma 4, which is marked over here. So I have like marked these two coordinates. This is 0 comma 2, and this is 2 comma 4. Okay, this is the thing which we have done in exercise 6c or 6d to find the equation of a straight line. We just need to do that. Okay, I have now two coordinates. So what I need to do is, I'll apply the main equation formula, which is y equals to mx plus c. So I need to find the gradient and the y-intercept of it. Now the gradient over here is, if I apply the formula y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, the gradient is 1 over here. So I have already found the value of m. And after looking at the graph, the y-intercept over here, y-intercept means when the graph intersect y-axis. So it is 2. The value of c, which is y-intercept over here, is 2. So what I need to do is, I just put the values of m and c in the formula. So instead of writing m, I have written 1 over here, and instead of writing c over here, I have written the value of c. Okay, now this is the main equation of this line. Again, what I need to do is, I'll look the region. My region is downward. Okay, now again, because of that solid line, I need to put a equals to sign, and because my region is downward, so I'll write y equals to lesser and equal to x plus 2. Okay, so that's all about the inequalities and all about the graphical inequalities which we have covered. Thank you.